Hey everyone, Dumont Owen here. It's Wednesday, and we're talking about my very favorite subject once again, how to increase your sales on LinkedIn. This is a really important topic, right? Someone in my family, these things always come from your family, right? Someone in my family made the comment, well, if you're not making money, then you have a very expensive hobby. And at the time it was true. So I have a great interest in all things social selling, and I'm going to share some of that with you today. Now, before we get started, I'd like you to do something for me. If this is your first time on a Facebook video, I am streaming with StreamYard, and above me there is a place to click and enter and give StreamYard permission to see your name on Facebook. That way, when you make a comment or ask a question, I'll be able to see who's asking it. So that would be really helpful for me. Also, be aware that when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see comments. So I will stop at various points and ask for comments. And of course, ask all the questions that you want at the end. If by chance I miss it and don't see it, please leave it in the comments, because I will get to your question and I will answer it, most likely on camera. So let's get started. Today we're talking about how to triple your sales on LinkedIn by using a social selling system. And it's absolutely possible to do, and it's possible to do and not spend all of your time doing it. And the best thing about social selling and having a social selling system is that you don't have to make cold calls. And those of you who have been with me for a while know how I feel about cold calls. So let's get started. Hold on a second. I am going to share my screen. Nope, that's not sharing it. I'm going to go down here and share. Much better. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. And I want to share this one. I didn't see it do its little thing that it does when the sharing works. Oh, there it is. Okay, so. No, that's not it. I don't think you're seeing my screen. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to pull this down for a second and look in my comments. Are you guys... Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Hold on just 1 second. Okay. I cannot tell from where I am what you're seeing. Hold on a second. Let me go to the group. You're not seeing my screen. Okay. Okay, you are not seeing my screen. So, how are we going to fix this? Let's go back to StreamYard. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, let me pull up my PowerPoint behind here. Now, let's see if this works. I just love technology. I am really hoping you guys can see this. I can't really tell. I can't see the comments. They're not showing up. Let's see. Oh, they're there. Okay, great. All right. We are in business. Sorry, guys. We had to wait a few minutes, but I am so excited. My slides are showing. So let's get started. Although it doesn't look like it's showing. Slideshow. Okay. I am praying that you're seeing this. If not, I promise you, the minute I get off of here, I am going to reshoot this and get it done. For any of you any of you who are not live or can't attend it live, don't worry. I'm going to send out the recording tomorrow. So, sorry, technology is fun until it isn't, right? So let's get started. All right, what are we going to talk about today? Well, today we're talking about social selling, and we're going to talk about what it is and then why it's so important. We're also going to talk about the 4 pillars of LinkedIn's social selling index. LinkedIn tells you just what to do, and it also gives you a score so you can see how well you're doing from week to week. It's really an amazing way to keep track of how well you're doing with the elements that you need to, or with the things that you need to do in order to attract, connect with, and convert your ideal clients to actual clients. So we're going to look at that. And we're also going to look at the buyer's journey, because that relates a lot to the social selling index. And then I'm going to show you that 4-part social selling system. We're going to talk about the rest of the stuff that's coming in April, which is really pretty cool. And then finally, I have a new free gift that'll be out later this week, and I can't wait to show it to you. So let's get started. All right, what is social selling? Well, I'm not going to read this to you, but basically it's a way of using social media to connect with people and develop relationships with them so that they'll buy from you. And this is the real kicker, and you guys know why I got into this. It's to replace cold calling. And for those of you who may be with me for the first time, you know that, or you don't know, but people who know me know that I used to do everything to try and trick myself into cold calling. I created these wonderful rewards if I would do my cold calling. I scheduled it on my calendar, and I would find all kinds of reasons not to do it. I never got it done. No matter how good the reward was, I never got it done because I don't like selling to strangers, and I don't like coming across as pushy and manipulative. So that's how I got interested in social selling. And fortunately, social selling is what it's all about on LinkedIn and actually on all social media. Everything we're covering today as far as what is good for social selling is also applicable to other media. Okay, so why is social selling important? Well, first of all, social selling lets you build a relationship with people before they're at the decision stage in the buyer's journey. And we're going to really talk about that in a minute. But the buyer's journey really is about the steps that your buyers take before they actually make the decision to buy from you. So it's very, very important. Also, brand awareness. And if you're here, you know that everything I do is based on personal branding. You have to know your brand before you can promote it. And think about what you know about brands already. What do you know about automobiles, that a brand name tells you? What do you think about when you think about Ford? Is it the same thing that comes to mind when you think about Mercedes? What is it you think about when you think about Max? Is it the same thing that you think about well, not Mac as such, about Apple is it's the same thing you think about Microsoft. Brands mean something to us. And we choose to purchase things based on what we know about that brand. In fact, 81% of buyers say that social media buyers say that they are really willing to engage with the brand on social media if they know them, and to buy from them more if they know them. And finally, and here's the biggest reason, your ideal clients are on social media. They're already there. They're already researching solutions. And 72% use social media to conduct research before they buy something. And if you're in B2B, then they're on LinkedIn. Now, they're also probably on Facebook, but on Facebook, they're doing different things that they're doing on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, it's about business. And so they are researching business colleagues, business referrals, business products. So you want to be there before other people are there, right? And then here's the final deal. Those of you who, like me, are in coaching and consulting, and that's pretty much everybody in this group, need to build trust with our potential clients, because we sell packages, services, and programs that are generally going to have at least $1,000 price tag, probably, or possibly, and probably, we all want that, right? We all want to be able to sell those high ticket packages. And they don't sell without trust. So people will not buy them on LinkedIn. You know, I'll plop down. I don't think too much about giving you my credit. Well, I do. I think all the time about before I give you my credit card. But I'm going to pay for a $9.97 purchase much more quickly. I'm going to make that decision pretty easily, as opposed to a $9,997 purchase, or even a $997 purchase. You know, that's serious money. And so our potential clients need to trust us and need to see us as a reliable expert in our field before they're going to plop down their money. That's all there is to it. So the buyer's journey. Remember, I just told you that the buyer's journey is the journey they go through before they make the decision, or on their way to making the decision to purchase. So the first stage is awareness. Now, in this stage, they are aware that they have a problem. Something's wrong, but they may not know what's causing it. For instance, they may have, especially over the year 2020, they may have had a drop in revenue, but they may not know what's behind that drop. Does it have something to do with their marketing? Is it something to do with their products? Is it that they're targeting the wrong niche? Whatever it is, they know there's a problem, but they don't know what's causing it. Now, in the second stage, consideration, they've defined the problem. They're very clear on the problem. They're also very clear on what's causing it. They had a drop in revenue because they stopped all of their content marketing on social media, or they had a drop in revenue, and the only thing that changed during that year was that they didn't do paid advertising. So, in this stage, they already know what the problem is, and they know what's causing it. Now they're shopping around for different solutions. And then finally, in the decision stage, they're aware of it, they've defined it, they've shopped around, and they are ready to make a decision. Okay, why is the buyer's journey so important? Because 2020 and the pandemic turned the buyer's journey on its ear. Now, it had already changed a lot because we're all online, but it really changed radically in 2020. So let's talk about that buyer's journey and why it's so important for you as a coach or consultant. In the first stage, remember that's awareness. They know they have a problem. They're not real clear on it. 19% of people in this stage who know they have a problem but are trying to gain clarity would like to talk to a salesperson or the person who makes those sales decisions during this process. 19%. That's almost 20%. Another 60% want to talk to someone during their consideration stage. Remember, this is when they're researching stuff. This is when they're looking at the different solutions that could possibly be offered to them, and they're really researching it. So 79% of your potential client base would like to talk to you before they get to the decision stage. And then 27% want to talk to you when they're ready to make a decision. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, if we just target people in the decision stage, which by the way is where most people concentrate, we're going to miss that 79% who wanted to have a conversation earlier in the process. Now, this is huge. This is really huge because if you can target people when they're in this first 79% of it, then you're getting to them at a stage before they've ever made that decision. So when they get to that decision-making stage, well, they're going to think of you because you've already been well on their horizon. They've known about you. They've learned that you're dependable. They respect your expertise. Now, let me give you a really brief example of why this works the way it does. If my dentist or a dentist, who's somehow I've been lucky enough to find my way onto their mailing list, if they send me something that says that in the month of April, they're having a 50% off sale on dental implants. Well, that's really super, 50% off, and if I were in the market for dental implants, this would really appeal to me, because I'm at that stage where I know, that I want them and that if I can get that kind of a break, I would be really excited. But if I'm still in the awareness stage, I may have a toothache, but I have no idea what's causing it right now. Or I'm in the consideration stage, I know pretty much what's causing it. And now I'm shopping around for different dentists and seeing what their offers are. I'm not ready to make that decision. So that piece of information, that 50% off, doesn't mean anything to me right now. So just concentrating on people in that stage, you can get them. What do they say? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. You can get people if you only concentrate on the decision stage, but you're missing out on 80% of your potential market. That's a big deal, especially if you are trying to build relationships based on trust, as those of us who are in coaching or consulting are. So let's take a look at how LinkedIn feels about this. LinkedIn has something they call the Social Selling Index. And stay tuned or check back at the end, because I will put a link to the Social Selling Index. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to stop here. And I am going to stop sharing for a minute. This always scares me. And I'm going to check the Facebook group for comments and see what I can see over here. Hold on. This just jumped up ahead of me. Okay. Okay, yes, you can see. Thank you, Rose. I'm always scared that someone can't see my slides. Anything else here? Okay. Okay, so someone commented on that too. Just wanted to check and make sure, because I have been known to go through an entire presentation and nobody could see the videos, or I was on silent. So let's get back to sharing my screen. Pull up my slideshow and play from Kurt. Oh, it worked. I'm so excited. Okay, so the 4 pillars of the social selling index. Like I said, LinkedIn offers this to us, and it's terrific because it tells us whether we're doing the right things to really attract, connect, and convert our ideal clients. So let's look at this a little bit closer. Create a professional brand. Now, those of you who know me know I'm all about professional branding. This is your personal brand and your professional brand. And one thing I always get an inquiry about is, well, exactly what does that mean? Well, to LinkedIn, creating a professional brand means creating your profile and making it what they call an all-star profile, where you have completed every section. You have used them. You've used up almost all of the character limits. And remember, the character limits on a lot of your sections are 2,000. That includes white spaces. And you have promoted your brand on your profile. And you can promote your brand on your banner. You can promote it in your headline. You promote it in your about section, your experience sections. That brand is going to be everywhere, because your brand is what differentiates you from everybody else in the market who basically plays in the same sandbox you do. Okay, so we're going to spend a lot of time in this group talking about branding. Okay, the second part of the social selling index is finding the right people. This means drilling down, using LinkedIn's advanced search fields and functions to find the exact right people. So you're going to be looking, you're going to be adding followers. You're going to be you're going to be using your advanced search sections. You're going to be connecting with people through groups. And I have some really cool tools to show you in that. And you're going to be analyzing your competitors' connections so that you can maybe find a few people there. And I'm going to show you some really, really cool tricks with that later this month. Okay, the next one is engage with insight. Somebody asked me recently, what does that mean? And my answer would be, well, nobody really seems to know, but it includes these things. Remember that LinkedIn, just like all social media platforms, is all about engagement. They want us talking to each other. They want us building relationships with each other. And on LinkedIn, that means building business relations. So there are a whole bunch of things you can be doing. One thing is to be constantly producing and sharing content. Now, the great thing is that you don't always have to be producing content. And in fact, I would tell you that you don't always want to be sharing original content. It's really valuable to create your newsfeed and to improve your newsfeed to the point where you are seeing what other people are doing, who are in your field and are publishing, because then you can share that information with your clients and with your contacts. And that does two things. It's like a 2-for-1, okay? You're not only, bringing attention to them and really, really, really doing a favor to them by sharing what they're doing, but you're also demonstrating to your ideal clients that you're in the swing of things. You know what's going on, and you're a real expert. You not only are an expert on the things that you teach, but you know all the latest stuff. That goes a long way. Another way to engage with insight is to find people's things that's the same thing, really. Engaging with insight by commenting or liking. And I already said sharing other people's things. So promote your own, but also promote other people's. If you do nothing but engage with people's content for 10 minutes a day over the next month, and then you check your social selling index, you're going to find that that engagement score has just skyrocketed. So it doesn't always have to be about producing content. Those of you who struggle with that will find this good news. And we'll be talking later this month too about some shortcuts in producing content. Okay, the fourth pillar of the social selling index is building strong relationships. And you do that bit by bit over time. Now, I used to tell people that when they were sending out invitations, to send out 100 invitations, even 200 invitations a week, you know, like 40 a day. I don't tell people to do that anymore because people have been using automation to the point where LinkedIn is fed up. And so they're starting to check everything. And if you're sending out 200 invitations a week, they figure that you're not able to engage with that many people. You may end up in LinkedIn jail. And if you've ever been in LinkedIn jail, you know it's a hassle to get out of it. So play it safe. Another thing that has changed with LinkedIn is that when you post content, they used to measure it in terms of, did people like it? Did they comment on it? Did they share it? And they still look at that. But they also have another algorithm now. This is a sneaky one. It looks at what it calls dwell time. How much time did people spend on your LinkedIn content, on that content? And so you're going to want to make it long enough that they will at least stay on it for 5 seconds. So that means putting enough content. If you're publishing a video, have enough content that they need to click that see more and keep reading, and then they'll click on your video. And some people have asked, will the fact that a video is faster, I'm not going to be on the whole post, but people will be watching the video, which takes them kind of off the post. Is that going to slow me down? Is that going to penalize me? And the answer is no. Video still counts more strongly. So if you are not doing video, I urge you to start experimenting with it, because there's some really cool things coming down the line with LinkedIn and video. Stay tuned, because I'm going to fill you in on a few of those in my next newsletter. And if you have not signed up for my newsletter, please, in the link, in the information below this, just say newsletter and give me your email address and we'll add you to it. Because every time we send out the newsletter, which is once a week, it has the latest tips and trends on LinkedIn. Enough of that. Let's move on. Okay. In order to make the most of LinkedIn, you really want to build a system, because a system will, number one, make sure that you're doing everything so nothing falls between the cracks. And number two, will always keep things standard. Once you're in a system and you have it down pat, then you can do lead generation in 10 to 15 minutes a day. If you have a VA, you can do even more of it. And if you don't know what a VA is, that's a virtual assistant. And we'll talk a lot about it in this group, because I couldn't live without mine. Okay, so let's look at this system. I call this the lucrative LinkedIn lead generator. And it has 4 parts: strategy, awareness, relationship building, and sales, and more. Okay, so we're going to go through each of these individual. The first stage is strategy. And in strategy, your big tasks, if you want to say, are number one, developing really clear career goals. Developing really clear goals, meaning that they are SMART goals. And if you aren't familiar with SMART goals, they are very, very specific. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And in this case, relevant means they are related to the problems of your ideal clients. And value means what the unique value is. Or relevant, relevant means related to the problems of your ideal clients. And achievable means that you can get it in this particular period of time. So they're going to be specific, they're going to be measurable, meaning you're going to have metrics that you can use to analyze them. They're going to be achievable, relevant, and time-bound, meaning they have a date that they're due. Because when you have a date, that kicks off your analysis. Okay, next, your niche. Now, your niche is those specific clients that you have targeted. Now, I get a question all the time, what if I don't have a specific niche? Anybody could use my services. Well, I believe you. You're probably really awesome, and your services and programs could be used by anyone. But what I'll tell you, and what anyone else will tell you, is that, the online community is gigantic. It's gigantic. So, you have to narrow down the people that you're going to be targeting, because you can't be everything to everyone. And if you try, you're not going to get anyone, because your solutions are going to be too generic and they're not going to see the relevance. Okay, and then finally, you're going to want to create your personal brand. And those of you who know me know that that's what I'm all about. Your personal brand is who you are, your vision, your passions, your purpose, your values. All of those things make up your personal brand. And your personal brand is what differentiates you from everyone else who plays in the same sandbox. Okay, stage 2 is awareness. And if you'll recall, we had an awareness stage in the buyer's journey. This awareness stage pretty much corresponds with that, at least to a certain extent. In this stage, you are going to create your profile, and you are going to create your profile in such a way that it is going to both attract your ideal clients, and it's going to compel them to take the next step in your sales process, to take the next step in building a relationship with you. Now, the second part of this is content marketing. And we do content marketing at this stage because, for one thing, content marketing is all about your messaging, right? You are going to have specific messaging, your specific key messages that you send out, that you talk about when you're talking to your tribe. So content marketing is where you really get very specific, and planning that is where you really get very specific about the types of content, the purpose of your content, how often you'll produce it, what format it'll be in, all of those kinds of things. And we talk about it here because you are going to be uploading some of that content, or in this case, content, to your profile in your features section and your experience sections. And because Google loves images so much, I'm going to urge you to make some of that content multimedia, slide presentations, images of events or of certifications or any of those kinds of things. You're going to want to upload that and feature it on your profile, because it's going to raise your rankings when people search for you on Google. And Google is still still owns 3/4 of the search activity that goes out there. And then finally, we'll talk about automation and how to do automation in a way, or you want to look at automation and how to use it in a way that, really promotes your brand and really develops that awareness, but doesn't pound people into the ground with it. Okay, so that's awareness. Following awareness, we look at relationship building, and this is a really important stage because remember, as we said before, LinkedIn and all social media is built upon engagement and building those relationships. And we talked about how important building relationships based on trust is on LinkedIn. Okay, so the first part of that is prospecting. And LinkedIn's advanced search fields, just in the free version, are amazing. You can get so much more specific on LinkedIn and in diving down and digging down to your ideal clients than you ever can on any of the other social media. So that's one really important aspect of LinkedIn. And those of you who are wondering how you do prospecting, we're going to be talking about that in this group this month. So come back for that. I'll send you the notice. And so connecting is the next step. And connecting is sending invitations to connect. And those have to be very personal. They have to be targeted. We talk a lot about how to connect the right way in this group. And some of you have gotten really, really good at this. You're giving me new ideas. So we will spend a lot of time in this group talking about the best ways to connect with people. And then finally, nurturing. And what do I mean by nurturing? I mean building that relationship. And very often that's going to come through a multitude of ways. You know, we just talked about, you know, creating engagement by, you know, commenting, sharing, liking other people's posts on LinkedIn. That's a huge part of it. Another huge part of it is messaging, creating a sequence of messages that contributes value to your ideal clients. And remember, in order to be of value, it has to be relevant to their concerns and their problems. Okay, so in this stage, you're going to be doing the prospecting, the inviting, and the nurturing, so that by the time they get to the next stage, you are not going to be doing my number one peeve, and you know what that is, cold calling. So when you get to the sales stage, here is the really cool thing about social selling. I mean, this is the most amazing thing for me. You don't have to do cold calls. And once people connect with you about your services, they're already 3/4 of the way there, because you have already established that you are a reliable resource for them. So when you get to that sales call, it's more about determining what exactly, you know, your services for them are going to entail, what their exact problems are, and it's crafting that exact package and and negotiating, you know, or establishing what the price is going to be. It is not, you know, manipulation. It is not, you know, that arm twisting. And I know I went through a lot of sales courses, and they all taught that. They all taught you how to, quote, be really strategic with their sales, but it always took them through this sequence of, oh, you're not interested in this, so I'll throw out this. Oh, does this not work? Then I'll throw out this. It really bothered me. It felt so manipulative and so phony. So I just can't do it. I cannot do it. So the best thing for me about social selling is that I don't have to do it. By the time we get on that call, we both know what it's about. Secondly, it's about analysis. Now, when you set up your goals, one of the things you set up with your goals in stage one is you determine the metrics, the key performance indicators that are going to tell you whether you've met your goals. So if it's to promote your brand, well, that could be things like, you know, how many profile views you have, how many people are commenting, liking and sharing your content, how much, how many people are actually interacting with it. All of those are good indicators of whether you're promoting brand awareness. If it's to increase sales, well, there are certainly conversion statistics that relate to them. So you're going to, in stage one, figure out exactly not only the goals, but exactly how you're going to measure them. Because in this process, that analysis also includes tweaking those things so that they work better. And then finally, a big part of this is exquisite client support. And what do I mean by that? I mean blowing your client's socks off. You know, you've heard this saying, under promise, over deliver. I truly believe in that. I truly believe in that. So you're going to have exquisite client support, because what does that do? That creates your return clients, your return customers, and it creates raving fans who are going to go out and tell their friends and everyone they know who is in the same situation that they absolutely have to touch base with you. Okay. Real quickly, I am going to be taking questions in a few minutes, but real quickly, I wanted to show you what's coming up in the rest of April. And I'm calling these the Wednesday matinees. This is the one we're doing right now. The Wednesday matinees are always posted through noon on the following Monday. So you have from now until next Monday at noon to come back through and review this and take notes and all of that good stuff. Next week, we're talking about 7 easy ways to find your ideal clients on LinkedIn. Remember, we were just talking about prospecting, which is in the relationship building stage. So next week on Wednesday, we're talking about how to find your ideal clients and how to do it quickly and easily. A big part of that. Okay, the following week, remember we talked about sending out invitations and connecting with people? I'm going to show you how to write the perfect LinkedIn invitation that will have people responding in far greater numbers for you than they have in the past. And then finally, the last Wednesday of the month is always dedicated to profiles. If you would like to have your profile reviewed for free, just put that in the comments below this and I'll see it and I'll send you some information. And I'm also going to talk about, some great ideas for how to write your about section. Now, if you're wondering where the heck the about section is, they used to call that the summary. LinkedIn changed the name, and personally, I don't think about tells you as much as summary. Summary speaks to me more. Okay, and finally, I wanted to tell all of you about our new free LinkedIn profile checklist. I'm going to be posting that in the group later this week. It is absolutely free, and it will, when you opt in on that, you can sign up for our newsletter. And you can always, get a couple of the newsletters, because like I said, they're going to have the latest tips and the latest trends on LinkedIn. And just to let you know, in this newsletter that's coming out this Friday, I'm going to tell you some really great things that you can do with video on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really, really promoting video right now in some great new ways. So let's stop here. I'm going to stop staring. No, I'm not either. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oh, it didn't share. Oh, shoot. Well, let's see. Maybe it did. I don't think so, though. Okay. Yeah, it did. Okay, so you didn't get to see the last part, and I'll have to redo it. So I'm going to pop over here and see if we have any more comments. I'm having trouble pulling down the screen here. Hold on a second. Okay, I am not seeing any further comments, and I really apologize, guys. I think you didn't see the last part of that. I'm going to come back in and show it to you. I will do a little brief video under this showing you the lucrative LinkedIn sales system. So, wow, it's got all my videos showing up here. Anyway, I'm going to call it quits for right now. I'm not seeing any more questions, but I know a lot of you will watch this a little later in the day. For those of you who had a conflict, I will send you the link very shortly. So, this is Dumont Owen saying ta-ta for now.